time is ticking for Earth. According to the UN, there is little more than 5 years till climate change becomes irreversible. Just how little time we have reflects in our everyday lives. With every month that passes, a new climate disaster emerges. The latest one is the Amazon River falling to its lowest water levels since, according to figures from the Brazilian Geological Service. The river was 25 feet below the average for this time of the year in certain stretches in Brazil. The low water level is not just limited to the Amazon. Its major tributaries have also fallen to historical lows. This has put the Amazon ecosystem in an unbalance. The rare river dolphins of the Amazon and its tributaries are washing up dead on its shores. The shrinking rivers leave less room for the dolphins in their habitat. They run into boats and ferries which lead to their unfortunate demise.
Nós temos encontrado vários animais. Semana passada nós tivemos uma média de 1 por dia. Nós não ainda estamos associando com mudança da temperatura da água, temperatura excessiva, mas a exacerbação da proximidade entre as populações humanas, principalmente pescadores, e os animais, porque o ambiente todo está muito restrito, né? O canal tem 2 metros de profundidade, talvez 100 metros de largura no máximo, e todos os animais estão concentrados nessa área e é por esse mesmo canal que passam todas as embarcações que estão acessando o Tefé, né? Desde uma rabeta até uma balsa pesada, né? E grande. Então isso aproxima muito as espécies e gera possibilidade de conflito, como nós já identificamos aqui no Lago Tefé.
Animals are not the only living organisms affected by this. Several riverine communities across the Amazon are stranded by the lack of transport on water. The river functions as vital watery highway which is the only way to connect these communities as well as move commerce around some of the most remote stretches on the planet.
A nossa dificuldade da logística, né, da gente entrar no rabeta, enfrentar a lama, até mesmo um banco de areia.
Tá muito difícil, né? Porque a gente tem que vir todo dia andar na praia e atravessar o rio, tem que andar na praia, meia hora, carregar as coisas.
A seca tá grande e cada vez mais seco, porque ainda está secando, nós já estamos no meio da seca ainda. Aí a gente tem que dar esse sacrifício aqui para chegar até onde a gente mora ali.
Secar mais um pouco vai ter que parar, porque não tem como pescar, porque o rio está muito seco, né? A gente vê mesmo porque tem que vir, tem que ir para ganhar o alimento, né? Comprar alimento para casa, mas está dificultoso.
It is climate disasters like these which make us wonder, where exactly did things go wrong? In order to understand this, we need to go back to the beginning. In 1896, Svante Arrhenius predicted that increasing carbon dioxide levels could raise global temperatures by 5 to 6 degrees. In 1938, Guy Callender links rising carbon dioxide levels to a 0.3 degree warming over 50 years. In 1985, scientists discover the ozone hole over Antarctica. In 1989, global climate efforts kick off with international talks. In 1992, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change opens for signature at the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro. It serves as the foundation for international cooperation on climate action. In 1997, the Kyoto Protocol is adopted under the UNFCCC, setting binding targets for 37 industrialized countries and the European Community to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. In 2005, the Kyoto Protocol came into force, committing nations to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. In 2021, COP26 in Glasgow strengthens commitments to reduce emissions and accelerate climate action. In 2023, UN report warns that the world is not on track to meet Paris goals without urgent intervention. And this brings us to today. Temperatures reach a record high every year. If the world still does not wake up to this reality, dystopian times are ahead. Several island nations like Maldives and Kiribati could completely disappear. Mumbai too could be submerged because of the rising sea levels. There are several reasons as to why this is happening. First is burning fossil fuels, which releases carbon dioxide, trapping heat in our atmosphere. Another reason is deforestation. Industrial pollution is also a major factor where factories release gases like CFCs, which eat away at the ozone layer, and other chemicals that trap heat. Another important reason for climate change is war.
Estes recursos poderiam ter sido utilizados para combater a fome e enfrentar a mudança do clima. O que se vê é o aumento das capacidades bélicas. O uso da força, sem amparo no direito internacional, está se tornando a regra. Presenciamos 2 conflitos simultâneos com potencial de se tornarem confrontos generalizados. Os gastos militares globais cresceram. Em Gaza e na Cisjordânia, assistimos a uma das maiores crises humanitárias da história recente e que agora se expande perigosamente para o Líbano. O que começou como ação terrorista de fanáticos contra civis israelenses inocentes tornou-se uma punição coletiva de todo o povo palestino.
Did you know that world's militaries are responsible for 5.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions? Military operations consume vast amounts of fossil fuels, with planes, tanks, and ships pumping out massive carbon emissions. In fact, the global military carbon footprint is the 4th largest in the world, right behind countries US, China, and India. In Ukraine, the first year of Russia's invasion generated more emissions than the entire Czech Republic. Wars create mountains of construction waste and cause extensive pollution, harming wildlife, contaminating air, water, and soil. Once the fighting stops, reconstruction efforts add even more emissions. In Ukraine alone, rebuilding could release another 200 to 400 million tons of carbon dioxide. The environmental impact of wars is an overlooked climate disaster, one that needs to be taken as seriously as any other consequence of conflict. Climate change is no longer a distant threat. It's a crisis unfolding right before our eyes. The world can still change course, but only if we act now. Every year, every decision, and every action counts. The time to act is not tomorrow, but today. Because for our planet, time is running out. Bureau Report, India Today Global.